Welcome to week 4 of walking together. We have a little bit of scenery change here as I'm now at home and not going into the office. I'm here in my home chapel coming to you to bring you the good news that still 4 weeks into Lent, you are not walking alone. This is a walk that we walk together even amidst the craziness of life right now. But we are going to dive into this week's gospel in particular to get the things that we're going to give up and pick up and offer up for this week. Our gospel comes from the Gospel of John, specifically chapter 9, and we see Jesus giving sight to the blind man. Everyone thinks that this blind man did something to deserve his blindness. Everyone thinks that the fact that the Lord is curing this is crazy, especially since it's happening on the Sabbath. He's taking this mud, right? He's spitting into the dirt, creating mud, a lot like God creating the first man from the mud, from the earth. Jesus is using the earth to cure this man of his blindness. People are amazed, but they're upset because God isn't working the way they think that he would. God performs miracles not in a way that we would have him do it, but in a way that he knows is best. God is bigger than the box that we put him into. And we're going to be giving up this week with that in mind, as we give up excessive cell phone use. The Lord wants to change the ways that we see this week. Just like that blind man, he wants to take away the blindness and bring sight. Being able to see the Lord this week is pivotal, because the Lord is going to work in our lives, but often things in our lives get in the way of him doing that. Whether you trust yourself to set these parameters, whether you are on your phone 2 hours a day, so you want to maybe cut back to an hour, or you're on your phone for an hour a day, you want to cut back to 30 minutes. Your phone can keep track of that for you. There are settings in your phone to set time limits on certain apps. Look into that this week and get rid of that excessive use and those ways that we box God in, that he has to enter into our lives the way that we want him to. And in conjunction with this give up, we're going to be picking up something that can help God to enter into our lives in a new way this week, that we can see him in a new way, as we pick up specifically silence. This time of social distancing is a perfect time to do this. You might have a little more time on your hands than you're used to. You might not know how to use that. Inject a little bit of silence into your week this week. It can be scary, it can be uncomfortable, because we want to fill our days with noise. But just give the Lord a little bit of time this week. Maybe 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, a minute a day, whatever you feel the Lord needs this week. Just give him a little bit of time to speak. And in that silence, don't try to fill that with noise, but just simply listen. Find a quiet place in your house, get out of the house and go outside, and just sit in silence and try to hear and to see the Lord working in your life. And finally, we're offering up for those who worldwide don't have access to the sacraments. This has been a weird week for us of not having access to the Mass, not having access to the sacraments in a way that we're used to interacting with them. But that for some in the world is a daily reality. They don't have access to the sacraments like we do here in the States, and I don't want to take that for granted. So we're going to offer that up for them this week. All that we're doing this week, from the giving up of excessive cell phone use to the picking up of silence, all of it being offered up for those who don't have access to the sacraments worldwide. Remember that you're not walking alone. Last week may have looked different. This week is going to look different than your normal week does. But challenge yourself to grow deeper with the Lord this week, specifically through these challenges, specifically through these things that we're entering into this Lent together. Know that you're not walking alone, and know that we're praying for you.